What's up there, you chicken nugget heads? Get ready to strap in as we get weird with our feet. Not like that, you creep. I'm talking about making leather sandals. I'm going to be your guide, and today we're going to be spilling the beans on 45 tips that will help improve your leather craft overall, but specifically your leather sandal making. Before we lace into making some sandals, let's talk about patterns. Am I selling them? Nopes. Free patterns are all over the internet, and if you found this, you can find a pattern. I may be putting together a full kit in the future, and that kit will include leather that is needed for this project. In the meantime, here's a pro trick. Trace your favorite sandals onto a cereal box and use that as a pattern. If there's one knife to rule them all, it's the Japanese skiving knife. If you are familiar with any of my videos, you'll know that I'm always singing its praises. Are you unable to get your hands on some neoprene? In this situation, cork works just as well. Sometimes Joann's carries it and sometimes it doesn't. They like playing hide and go seek with the neoprene. It's not a big deal. You can go on Amazon and order a roll of thin cork. Stuff works perfect. This is going to add a layer of comfort for your feet. Don't skip this part. Here's a tip I wish I would have known a lot sooner. Switch from using a scratch-all to draw your patterns on your leather and start using a silver pin. If you use a scratch-all, as it's implied, you're going to scratch your pattern on. If you use a silver pin and make a mistake, you can use some water and a rag and wipe off the silver pin. Here's a tip that's going to save you a huge headache. Rather than guessing where you're going to put your top layer onto your bottom layer, trace your top layer onto your bottom layer and cut out the leather bigger. Trace around that layer so you know exactly where the layer is going to go. Here's a tip that has helped me and saved me a lot of time and material. Before you glue something down, trace it. This will give you a better and more accurate place where you're going to put the two pieces together. Time is money, and we're all broke. Harbor Freight's got these cheap heat guns, and they don't break the bank. I don't know about you, but I don't got the time to watch glue dry. Attention to the detail freaks like myself. When tracing patterns, chop away the whole piece off of the main piece of leather. If you're using a side like this, remove the smaller piece from the entire side. When you do this, you'll have a lot more leverage when you're cutting out your pieces, and certainly a lot more accuracy. Next tip, get good leather. I know leather isn't cheap, but I got the answer for you. Good quality leather at an affordable price. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, right? And that leads me directly into today's video sponsor. The leather company has top tier leather at an affordable price. Not to mention, the people at the leather company are some of the kindest, most incredible people that you'll ever work with. If you're looking to get top quality leather at an affordable price, make sure to check out the leather company. Their website and social media information will be in the description of this video. When you reach out to them, tell them 21 Grams sent you, and I'm sure they'll take good care of you. They always do. Something that I find saves me a lot of time and precision is putting the pattern pieces on a larger piece of leather when gluing it up. That way you don't have to get them exactly lined up. It saves time and frustration. Alright, this is one you've probably heard me say if you've seen any of my other videos, but that is cutting everything at the same direction. This creates muscle memory and, in my opinion, much straighter and sleeker cuts. Beveling edges, it's like the therapy of the leather world. If you don't agree with this, you should probably seek professional help. I can't think of a single task that is more satisfying than beveling edges. The tip here is, enjoy this process. You know me, I'm always trying to push content for the broke makers. This right here, I won't budge on. Cinnabrock pricking irons are worth every penny. Top tier tools from top tier people. The people behind this product are some of the coolest people that I've ever had the opportunity to deal with. I've had many pairs of punching irons as well as pricking irons, and I've only had one issue. The owner of the company was incredibly quick to make that issue go away, and I really, really appreciate them for that. Who needs a gym when you have leather yoga and solo dance parties? Stretch, stitch, and sizzle those calories away. Here's one I just taught myself. I like to call it the triple knot, smack, flip, and rub down. Essentially what you're doing is, you're gonna loosely pull your thread through 3 holes, then you're gonna pull tight. This cuts down on time so much. Don't be scared of taking your frustration of getting picked last on the kickball team in elementary school out on your sandals. This is going to smooth out the holes and give an overall much sleeker look. Canvas cloth. There, I said it. If you're a wood slicker, hate to break it to you, you're just wrong. This reminds me of the quote from Old Dirty Bastard at the BET Awards in 1998. He said the profound words that still ring true today. Puffy is good, but Wu-Tang is the best. This is exactly the difference between canvas cloth and a wood slicker. The canvas cloth is the Wu-Tang of slicking your edges. Make your edges smooth, not dented. Remember, friction, not force. You'll know that your edges are extra crispy when you feel and hear a clicking sound. When you feel and hear that sound, you know you're right in the right spot. Tight spots you need to glue? Get a pickle jar and a paintbrush. You having trouble with your thread? Pull it flat and cut it at an angle. It will just glide in, baby. It's nice when we have opportunities when we don't have to burn our thread tails. In this situation, you can hide those knots and skip the backstitch blues. Keep it fresh and clean, my friends. All right, here's a little sandals maker secret. Wow, say that 3 times in a row. To stiffen up your sandals, use a shank. Rather than buying an expensive wooden shank, you can get a whole box of wooden tongue depressors. I think I got a box of 20,000 for $4. Just kidding, I don't even know how much they cost, but they're super cheap. Or heck, give yourself a reason to eat 2 popsicles. Use those sticks as shanks. This tip is pretty obvious, but if you're using contact cement, do so in a well-ventilated area, free from open flames. And if you're a recovering addict, don't use this as an excuse to get high. Invest in a sharpening stone. Only thing scarier than a dull knife is waiting for the results of an STD test. Look, I like quoting Andre 3000 from Outkast as much as the next person, so I'll take this opportunity to remind you to stay so fresh and so clean. Clean up after yourself, man. I can't tell you how much more enjoyable it is to work in a clean environment. Alright, are you sick of wasting all of your lunch money on thread? Here's a way to stop wasting as much thread. Measure the perimeter of your project and triple that length with thread. That is always the go-to method that I use. All right, let's live a little dangerously and thread the needle. When you thread the needle, you're going to go through the eyelet, pull out about 2 inches, and then you're going to take your needle and poke it in about 3/4 inches from the end of the tail. Pull that really snug and make a knot out of it. Alright, for this project we're going to be using a lot of thread, so make sure that your thread is centered. There's nothing worse than getting close to the end of your project and realizing that you have 3 feet of thread on one side and 8 inches on the other side. Loose knots can create tight bonds. Go through 3 holes as loose as you want, then pull tight after the 3rd hole and save yourself some time. Alright, we're moving on to the snaggle toe separator. When you pull this rope through, you're going to leave a portion and fray it. That is where we're going to melt it and make it all come together as one solid piece of nylon.
I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
If you get to the point where you start selling these sandals, invest in a shoe stretcher. If you're only making a pair for yourself, use your feet to get the perfect fit. But if you are selling these sandals, don't use your feet. No one's trying to get your athlete's foot. Alright, now it's time to introduce the rubber sole and leather to Dr. Scratchy. You're going to want to get rough, rowdy, and raw with these. Again, scraping into both of these materials is going to create a much tighter bond. This bond is going to be the most important of this entire project. The reason for that is we're not stitching through the rubber sole, so we're relying only on the glue. So that leads us into the next tip. Once you get this glued up, let it set up overnight. In fact, if you have the time, let it set up for 2 days even. Alright, it's time to get that anger out again. Remember when your dad took your sister to Magic Mountain but you didn't get to go? Even though you were a kid, now is the time to take that anger out on the edges of these sandals. Hammer these things down because they again create a super tight bond. I say bond a lot, but that is incredibly important in this project. Alright, this tip is a little bit of a balancing act. You're going to want to keep your knife smooth to the leather, but you also want to make sure that you don't cut into that leather. Rule of thumb is, it's better to leave a little bit of rubber than to slice into the leather. Always sand down the rubber, but you cannot make leather reappear. Right, this portion of the project is going to be kind of tough. So I recommend the best investment that you can get yourself a whole gallon of elbow grease and stop being a crybaby. Everyone loves getting those leather spaghetti noodles when you're beveling your edges, but in this situation, use your beveler to round the edges. Start at the top and round off on the sides. Tokenal. Anything else, get it out of my face. They don't sponsor me at all, not yet at least, but I just love this product. I don't use anything else. Alright, I saved the most important tip for the very last. Here's the tip. Be proud of yourself. You made it to the end of this project and hopefully you learned something. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. Alright, that's a wrap, chicken nugget heads. With 45 new tips, you are now a sandal making pro. This is where I'd normally ask you to subscribe, like, comment, share with a friend. I don't care if you do any of that. Instead, go back and watch one of my other videos.